Yeah.
Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's your girl Aseelah. Happy New Year.
Kind of magic. Hey. Wow.
Oh you guys, I'm so sorry. Happy New Year. This is my first video this year. Oof. If you're like me that do not have a New Year resolution, you raise your hand up here. I usually have all those things planned. I usually have, but you see this year I don't want to stress it. I know the goals I want to achieve and I've prayed about it and that's it. I didn't put anything down. If you know me, you know that's not me. If you do not know me, now you know. No long talks, let's just get right into the reason for this video. So in today's video we are going to be talking about house hunting in London. Please and please, if you have any questions about places that are not London, you can just put them in the comment section and I will try to answer as much as I can. But because I am in London, I have more information about house hunting in London than other places in the UK. So let's get right into it. So there's just one thing I need to say. Just like it is in every other places, in every other country, just like it is everywhere, house hunting is stressful and it's frustrating, especially when you have something in mind. When you have something in mind, you want the house to be this way, you want the bathroom and toilet and suite and stuff like that. So don't stress it. You are not going to start house hunting today and get somewhere nice or somewhere you want in 3 days. In fact, I feel like you would not get somewhere nice, somewhere you want under a week. That takes me to my first point. When you are trying to get an apartment, a flat, a house, anything at all in London, you need to give time. You need to give it time. You need to start searching early. You need to start looking early. And where do you look? I'm going to put some links on the screen. But there is spareroom.co.uk, there is Zoopla, there is Rent a Room, and a few others that I don't exactly remember now, but I'm going to make sure I put them on the screen so you can check. So those links, these are where you start checking, and you start checking early. So let's talk about the university accommodation now. So for university accommodation, there are two types of accommodation. There is the studio accommodation, the ones that have the toilet, the kitchen, bathroom, everything you want in the room. And there is the shared accommodation, where you have the room but you share the kitchen area, or you share maybe toilet with maybe 1 or 2 rooms, depending on how your school is, because I think it varies from school to school. So for the university accommodation, it is all bills inclusive, and in my opinion it's more easier to get because it's your school, they have your details. All you need to do is just apply for it and then you'll be given one. So if you're somebody that wants to stay on your own, you can go for the studio apartment. And if you're the type that wants to save money and you don't mind sharing with other people, then you can get the shared accommodation. For example, in my school, in the University of East London, the way the shared accommodation is, you have a room to yourself. You just share maybe the toilet or the kitchen. So that's for the university accommodation. Students that are not in London yet but are looking to come, if you do not have somewhere or somebody to stay with when you come, pending the time you get an apartment for yourself, I would strongly advise you try to get a cheaper accommodation somewhere around the school. If not somewhere around the school, then somewhere that is easily accessible, that you can still get to school, like school or work for students and people that are coming to London on skilled worker visas and stuff. So it's better than coming and then just getting a hotel and just staying or getting the only hotel. You need to do your research, check online, use the location of wherever it is that you're coming to, the school or work. So speaking of students, I feel like people just think of hostel accommodations and then they zero it in their mind. At least I know I did that until I resumed school, and then I have a friend that has a student accommodation, and when I saw it, I realized it would have been a perfect fit for me personally. So if you are coming to the UK on a student visa and you are thinking of an apartment, please put into consideration your school accommodation too. It's not, except if you want a house, for sure. I just want to put it out there that the school accommodations are lovely, and as you know, you have the bonus of staying inside school. Your transportation is covered, and you know you're going to be comfortable. If you want to get an apartment, you know, you're coming with your spouse or your child, we are going to get there. I'm just trying to, you know, put it out there that you can look into school accommodations too. They're lovely. You're not going to, it's not like the accommodation back home in Nigeria, where I'm from. School accommodations are not exactly luxury places, except when you get private hostels. But you see here, they're really cool, they're really nice. Comfort, you know, you cut on your transportation, and most of the time schools are always located in areas where the malls and shops are easily accessible, so you're really covered. So now let's get back to people hunting for houses. So like I said, the first thing you need to do is you need to start checking early, even before you come into London, because when you check all those sites, you're going to see the dates. Some apartments are not even available immediately. You can check, and then you filter your search towards apartments that are available during the period you want it. You know what, that filter toggle thingy where you can put, or you want it to be available from, let's say you're coming in January, you want it to be available from March, you want it to be available from April. You see apartments like that. You can text the agent, you get sent videos, and when you pay, you know, it starts counting from the time it's going to be available for. I do not know if you are following me. So when you come in, if you want to come into the UK in December, start checking for houses from, I don't know, from any time it's possible, it's convenient for you to start checking. Check on time so that you can settle for something you would actually like. You are able to get apartments that are not available immediately. They might not be available like the period you want it exactly. Now you might be looking for something, you're coming in December, you're looking for something that obviously will be available in December. You can get something available for November. But you can be lucky if you check early enough and something actually available for December, and then you can make like some sort of payment. There are requirements to get an apartment, and for students most especially, I feel like the house hunting space is not always fair to students. When you're checking, you see some people clearly stated there that, oh, we're not accepting students, or oh, student not allowed. So that's the reason why you even have to start searching early, so that you would get places that are actually going to accept you as a student. My advice based on experience is that you look at getting a flat in a house rather than getting like a studio or a one room. Studio apartments can be expensive, and aside just the apartment, you have to put into consideration council tax, and this for those working. For students, when you get a letter from school, you can bypass council tax, you do not have to pay. But for people that are working, you're going to pay council tax, you're going to pay other bills. This is for both students and workers. You're going to pay phone bills, you're going to pay light bills and stuff. So if you are a student and you're alone, it's very advisable to look into, or if you're a worker and you're alone, you're not coming with your spouse, you're not coming with your family, it's very advisable to look into doing house share. That way you're going to be really getting a good deal and you're going to be saving money. Because if you're working, or when you start working, the money you get, you do not want to spend everything on an apartment. Different strokes for different folks. Some people love to have, you know, the luxury lifestyle, and you know, everybody's finances are different. But I want to believe if you're coming to London to school or to work, you want to save money also. Rather, you would like to save money also. I know I'd like to save money. I do not know about you. So look into house share, check early. And also, when you are looking for an apartment, you need to look at the distance to your place of work or to school. So there are just two ways to this thing. Honestly, from my point of view, there are just two ways, because if you're getting somewhere close to school or close to your place of work, depending on the location of your school or your work, it's most likely going to be a bit pricey than places that are farther from school or your work. Depending, if you're picking somewhere close to school, you might pay more, but if it's within walking distance or if it's just a bus to school, you're going to be saving also on transportation. If you do decide to get an apartment that's, you know, a bit farther from school, you are also going to spend more on transportation. So you need to really check and weigh your options and then decide which is better for you. If you're a student, if you decide to pick somewhere that's a bit far from school, then it should be close to where you're going to get a job. You need to check for how accessible it is to the high streets, to the malls, to shops, to the market. That is also very important, because you do not want to be spending so much money going to the market and coming back. It's a plus when you have the high streets a walking distance to your house. That is also a very important point that you should make sure is on your mind when you are house hunting. All in all, getting an apartment in London is expensive. It's not exactly cheap. Hence the reason why I suggested house share for some people that are going to be coming alone. And also, it's not only the money you are saving when you're looking at house share. Some people that actually like to be alone, they might not, you know, care. But if you do not like being alone, then it's going to be a plus for you to get an apartment that someone stays in also. That way you have like a kind of flatmate, and you have someone to, you know, reach out to when you need assistance or when you need help navigating your way around things. That's a plus. You might not see it as a big deal or something that's a plus when you're not here, but when you come, really, it's going to be nice to have someone that you can reach out to every now and then. If you want to get an apartment alone, make sure you read all the descriptions on the site. I know that might sound like, oh yeah, who wouldn't, but it's very important, because there's so much information on the site. That's where it's written, oh, if the apartment is furnished, then the deposit you are going to pay. When you want to get an apartment, you are going to pay a deposit, and it varies from house to house. So deposit you're going to pay, and if it's all bills inclusive. Some places it's bills inclusive. For students, I would advise you also go on your group chat, talk to people, ask people, oh, who is looking for an apartment, who wants a flatmate. When you can get someone from your school to also, you know, stay with, is also very good, and it's also going to save you money. See, this house hunting video is just giving you advice on how to save your money, because you are going to need to save. You're going to pay bills, so while paying bills, paying rent, you need to save your money too. So this is just giving you, you know, insights. Reach out to people in your group chat. Most people are also going to be looking for apartments. Once there is an official group of people that actually are coming to resume the month you're coming to resume, reach out to them. Try to, you know, talk to people, see someone that, you know, is a fit for your kind of person, or someone that you think you would like to stay with, and try to, you know, put it to them, or should we get an apartment together? And then you search together. It's even easier when two people are doing the search and you keep sending links to each other. you do not want to do this whole house thing alone, except like I said, if you're coming with your family. If you're coming with your family, then you need to do your research. You need to go online. You need to start early. You need to have something, what you want, you need to have it in mind. You need to also look at the proximity to your place of work, high street, the market. You do not want to get an apartment that's far from everywhere. You're going to be spending more on transportation, and you would not want that. For the private accommodation, there is also studio apartments, and there is, the 1-bedroom flat, just like you have everywhere. And then we have the house share, where someone or people on the house, and maybe they want to let a room. It could be you and one person, and it could be you and other people. You can get a house share with about 4, 5, 6 people, depending on how big the house is and the kind of house it is. I think the more the people, the lesser the rent you pay. So for the private accommodation, for the studio apartment, or a 1-bedroom flat that's going to be just you alone there is the option of paying your rent, and then you pay your bills separately, and then there is the option of paying your rent with the bills. And for me, I feel like paying rent and bills is reducing all the hassle and everything, and it's easier. But then it depends on you. Just know that there are those options are like available, yeah. And for the house share, you split the bills and the rent with the people you stay with. You get your space, you get your room, depending on what you want. You could get a room that is en suite. You could also get a room that you have to share the bathroom with maybe one person or 2 people, depending on the plan and how the house is. So for international students, your landlord is most likely going to ask for your school ID card, your BRP, your international passport, and then a reference, or rather a guarantor that's living in the UK, someone that's going to speak for your character, so that they feel secure and know that, oh, okay, you're a reliable person or you're a good person, and they give you the house. You would have to pay the holding deposit and the house deposit. You need to check early, like I said. Make sure that the place you are checking, the place you want to take, is not far from all the good places, the food, where you get your food, the malls, all those things are very important. Happy house hunting. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section, and I'll try to answer them. Thank you so much for watching this video till the end. Give it a thumbs up, and do not forget to subscribe. Bye.